with us. It's still the conversation on Lagos Television, and this is the Lagos segment. Today's discussion is a very sensitive one because just last week there was another building collapse on Lagos Badagry Expressway, the Alakija area of the state. And despite all what government is doing to mitigate or even eradicate this building collapse in the state, one would now start to wonder that are the efforts enough, or are there some saboteurs ensuring that these efforts do not come to light. So joining us this morning is Dr. I wasn't sure if it was a doctor. Okay, Dr. Moses Ogunleye is a managing director of MOA Planners Limited, and he's also an experienced town planner. Right now we'll be discussing building collapse in Lagos. This is as a result of what happened last week. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
I'm sorry about my voice, so you have to just bear with it. Yes, just last week another building collapse happened in Lagos despite numerous interventions and measures put in place by the government. As a town planner, when you heard that happened, what was your reaction? How did you feel?
Okay, maybe one word. Again. Again.
So does this now suggest that we're not learning enough from previous mistakes or happenings? So, or is it that what government is doing is not enough, or we people are not taking responsibility yet?
Okay, so building collapse, any of the incidents that happen, the stakeholders are many.
Of course.
Yeah, but the key stakeholder is the developer, or the funder, the owner of that project. Because anytime this happens, there are losses, even if there is no fatality, and a building comes down, value is lost, money is lost. So I think they are the first person, you are the one funding it. So even if you don't know what it takes for you not to come down, you should let people that will advise you in ensuring that the building remains strong and it doesn't come down.
But in a situation where it is not the developer, that there is the landlord.
No, I use the word developer, that's why I said the person that is funding it,
Okay.
I consider him or her as a developer. Now it could even be an individual or an organization. If it's a landlord, he's one funding it. If it's a property owner, the landowner, he's one funding it. Even if he's the one funding the renovation, assuming you could also rebuild or renovate a property. And you could also have a building that is not even under construction.
I was going to say, okay, what about the ones that are not under construction?
So it's the owner.
Okay.
And then it saddens one mind. Now, then there's another incident that says maybe when during rainfall, season of rain, maybe the gaps in the construction will now show more. And maybe more building will come down than if you compare it to dry season. There's a study on that to see the correlation between the season and then the number of collapse or the chances that collapse will occur. You suffer losses, and that is why one of the ways government thought it can reduce it to say it's in the law of Lagos State that whenever a building collapses, the owner, that property, the land
belongs to
the
government automatically. Yes.
But I'm not sure government is even able to push that through. And the whole idea is to say, if you know that if there's a collapse,
you're going to lose that.
You lose the entire land. So that will stick to people to make sure.
But that doesn't seem to be working.
Government is quiet on that. I only know of one or two that government made an attempt. But the law says if it is proven that the collapse occurred because of the negligence of the developer. So in other words, there could be collapse not due to negligence.
What is natural?
Should it be? No. If it's not due to the negligence, for instance, if there's an accident, a truck hits a property.
Okay. Yeah.
And before you restore or restabilize it, in the next 2 days, the building comes down. It's not the negligence of the owner. It's now an accident.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
if a fire happens and the fire burned for more than a long hour or long hours, and for one reason or the other, within 2 weeks, the building structurally becomes defective or it comes down, then you can't say that's the negligence of the owner of that property.
Okay.
Okay, I want us to talk about the implications of quackery and unqualified personnel in the building sector and the harm that is causing at the moment.
Yeah, that's a big issue. I will link that to the developer.
Okay.
Now, it is the onus is on the, let me say, okay, maybe don't let me, the onus is on the owner of the land that want to build to make sure that the right persons are engaged. There's a provision that the law says you should engage them, but people try to circumvent that. So you have people who are not qualified acting as professionals. If I use the word professional, it signifies the totality of expertise. It means you are an expert. So people who are not, and the assumption comes to say, I've done a lot of development now. None of them, none comes down. So why should you? Don't worry, I'll use my previous experience. And I said, building construction is a science. If you are not part of that science, if you don't know the science, you could be an artisan, learning how to do, the other works, iron bending, bricklaying, plumbing, and what have you, tiling. But that does not make you the structural engineer that will certify, that will say this is okay. You can add more to it. I mean, if you are not a structural engineer, can you be calculating load? Can you be looking at load bearing capacity of a wall? You can't do that. So quackery is still a big issue. But I also know some developers, even when engineers signs, when you want to do a construction, an engineer will sign, structural engineer will say, I will supervise the construction. So government will give you approval, go and build. But some of them, when they want to build, they don't even invite the engineer. Because you have a choice. You could, if the engineer said I will supervise, some of them can get another engineer. But the most important thing is that you allow the professional person to supervise.
Why did they do that? Is it because of the cost of engaging the engineer?
Well, they will say cost, and I say that is they're just being pounds foolish, and penny wise. From 132, if you engage everybody, architect, assuming the building is big, you get mechanical engineer, get electrical engineer, get structural engineer. The money, even get quantity surveyor, the money you pay all of them, builder, everybody, is less than 13% of the cost of that project. So if your project is even maybe 100 million. So what is bad in paying 12 million or 13 million for everybody to save yourself?
Job done.
Yeah.
You mentioned something now which is very, very important. You talked about approval.
Yeah.
So how easy? Because in the past, I don't know about now, I've heard some property owners complain about getting approval from government. Is that also? Can we also link that to people cutting corners, getting approval from elsewhere, to get their structure in place? So how easy or how difficult is it to get approvals from the government?
Well, to get approval for your building is mandatory. Even the law says government itself should get approval, and that is how it is done globally. You don't say because I'm government, I want to build an office. So you're a contractor. Contractor should even go to site based on the approval he has. Well, the approval process has its own challenges. I mean, just recently, government digitized the process.
With that building.
Well, it is, they say it's for efficiency. So we look forward to making it very efficient. But the challenge in that is that you get approval, it is one thing.
And change the structure.
Another one is to build what was approved for you.
For you.
Those who do monitoring, when they get to your site, so I have approval. Okay, no problem. Show us the approval that you have. So if you shift even a column, you've negated the approval. In fact, if in your in your room, whether residential or commercial property, if you enlarge the size of a window, that is enough to negate the approval. If you say is this width, what you should build is that width. If you now say no, I don't have money, let's reduce it. After all, you know you don't have money before you presented that drawing for government to approve. So they need to have the approval process to be more efficient, so that people will have confidence in government. But still, you cannot say because the process is long, that's why you started building without approval. Under the law, even under logic, it is not covered.
It's not covered.
So what people have done is to say, I will sort out approval, let me go and build. And government also say, no, you pay penalty for commencing your approval without building. You may also not know, people want to circumvent the law. If you drive around every weekend, just watch. Between Friday 4 p.m. and yesterday evening, which is Sunday, a lot of construction are going on. Because they know that the civil servant is not expected to be on the field.
To monitor.
Yeah. And on public holidays, some developers are happy. They will rush it. They will rush construction. Because, in 2 days, people can do magic in construction. So if you do that, the government people will still go. They will now make a case. We built up to a certain level. Can we be allowed to regularize it? And the law also say, well, you can condone.
Allowed,
if it is condonable. If it is approvable, but you pay penalty. Ordinarily, we shouldn't condone. But it is you. When I say you, the public guy will say, don't let his money. I don't support condonation. But we also look at our system. If it's condonable, if there's about the right setback, if structurally you tested it and discover that it is sound, no structural deficiency, let it go. It's because our system is not fully developed. And in common sense and in logic, you must also, to face reality. Let's add it to our law. Otherwise, you will demolish many buildings in Lagos. If you want to go by what the law says.
I'm trying to understand. Sorry, Joy. Or is it a follow-up to what? Okay, go on.
So, because since we were talking about approvals and of course, and so I see some developers often ignore the stop work orders from regulatory agencies, because I'll see they write it on the building, stop work, and put the date, and I'm looking at the date that it was it, and I'm looking like work is still going on.
Work is
here.
still going on.
Yes. So I'd like you to comment on that. And is it that compliance level is just not, is not. How do I put it? What's the English word? For lack of a better word. Yeah, people just ignore. Yeah. What do you think can be done?
Well, it's even also pedestal to be marking it. That's the best we can do. Elsewhere, you paste. Just paste. You do a sticker, you just paste illegal development. You screen the data.
Okay, we see that also.
But now, that is, now, if they write stop work.
That's the building that collapsed last week.
In
Alakija.
Yeah. If they write stop work, April 22nd, for instance, and today is June 29, it's not rubbed off. The construction still goes on. Two things happen. Before stop work order is signed, is pasted or is issued, there is supposed to be other contravention notices. The first one is contravention notice to say we have spotted an error, development. We've spotted something that is not wrong with your construction. So at that point, they can give you what the law says. They give you 14 days. You go to the office and attend to what they've spotted. It could just be that they are saying, we are doing our monitoring. We go to this site. We didn't meet anybody. You are supposed to keep approval document at the site. So if you don't have, they can say, they can serve you contravention notice. So the developer is supposed to go to the office that served. When they serve notice, they write it there. Something zonal office, something district
So they're
office
expecting you to
come and say, well, I got this notice. What exactly is the issue? What did you spot? You now tell the developer or the owner, we observe that you don't have this. You will now present. If he doesn't have, so after 14 days or 21 days, they will serve him another one that will now say, stop work. So if you see them stop work rating and the developer still goes on the work, two things. It is assumed that he has resolved the problem with the office, with the planning office or building control office, and he can go on. Or simply ignore them. And that should ordinarily,
and that ignorance can
office
cause
monitoring. It should be a rare occasion. If you digitize very well.
Exactly, you can see everything from your office.
I should know that plot 40 on your on so street in so zone as approval. You know what they do elsewhere? The conservation they may serve you are probably on errors. There's tree preservation. Maybe there is a tree in front of that property you are building. They will tell you, they will change the tree and say, throughout the construction process, this tree, don't touch it. Maybe in the construction process, your crane or something fell, and part of the tree is damaged or destroyed. It's enough for them to serve the conservation. So it looks odd and looks somehow that we still go and mark everybody. So people say, don't mind when they mark your building, they are looking forward to. You want them to give a gift or you want to corrupt them. But really, that should not be the case.
That shouldn't be the case. Okay, let's look at town planning itself. Where does town planning now fit into preventing building collapse?
Oh, it fits properly. In fact, that's where it starts.
Okay.
You're building a residential property. You're building a commercial property like office, mall, shops, or even building a place of worship, mosque, church. You take your plan, that's your intention, to the planning office.
Okay.
But even before your architect prepares the drawing, he or she should have found out what is permissible, what can go on that site, even if it is residential. What type of residential development? Can I do the one you call 3 stories? Is it maybe the only thing that is permissible there or permitted is 2 floors, ground and 1 more. So if you find out that here you can do 3 stories, you now design to suit the 3 stories. It takes caution and professionally to observe what we call setback. You could have a 3-story building of just 2 family units. If you design a terrace building, you ground floor, middle, and top. And you could have a 3-story building of 6 family units. 2 floors, 2 floors, 2 floors. So you have 2 families there, 2 families there.
Okay.
So the requirement differs when it comes to car parking. On one plot, you could have 2 family units. It means you should do 2 car park for 1 family minimum. So if you live in a house and then if there are 4 family or 1 and your property doesn't have a provision for
parking,
let's say there are 2, 4,
okay,
then you are even contravening. It's not what I call.
So many houses
that they don't have provision for parking of cars.
That's not what I call Mr. John parking. Mr. John parking is Mr. John, I want to go and come and
exactly. Yeah, we have those ones too.
But if it's your family alone, Mr. and Mrs. or 2 cars, you are the one that want to go and call your neighbor. Immediately you are calling your neighbor that I want to go out. That's even a conversation.
That usually causes a lot of clashes.
Those are the things family planning department or planning authority will look at. Parking, setback. Not that you are looking in one building, buildings almost touching each other. That's what they call setback and air spaces.
Okay.
And at times when there is fire incident, for fire safety agencies to even access a property, not even with their vehicle, for the staff to take their
equipment.
Raise, exactly. Problem comes. So those are the things that planning does. So planning will now say, go ahead, go and build.
Okay, I've also, noticed that, before we used to have a plot of land. When you have a plot of land, you build like a family house on it. These days, they now divide this plot of land and they build 2 separate buildings on it. How is that happening? Do they have to go back to? I know we are moving away from building collapse now.
Safety,
yes. Is it that? I want you to tell us what the process is. From changing a whole structure to something else entirely.
Well, it can happen. There are provisions for doing that. People have done such in an unprofessional way that leads to where we are coming from, which is building collapse. You can partition your plots. In the old Ikoyi, the big plots. In fact, you can land driving in those
those compounds,
big plots. Now people just feel we say Lagos should go. We should densify. We should go vertically. In other words, population is high. Can we afford to have one family unit? Yeah, we should have. But we can now have zones where you can have 6 families in one plot of 4,000 square meters. Don't let me go to technical. But you can subdivide your plot to have access for everybody. I won't invest in a plot. I have to pass through your plot to get to my own plot. So it will be done in a way that all of us have access through another. It could be a driveway, it could be an alley that will connect us. Ultimately, people are even smarter now. When they want to sell their plot, they want to be sure how many units, if I know that I can only do 2 family units, and I'm investing. I want for me to amortize my investment. Let me to recoup the investment. I need as high as 8 family. That's where the problems come from. That's where the problem comes from. That's where the problem comes from.
A lot of people have also said that the Lagos soil being close to water contributes a lot to this building collapse. I'd like you to enlighten us on that.
There's an engineering solution to that. There's a property I can mention. So we are now a big estate that we're doing somewhere around Oworoshoki. And the thinking is that we're advising the developer because this land is not Agege land or Ikeja, that is a little bit, or it's just around the lagoon. That means whatever you're thinking of in terms of investment, the foundation work cannot be the regular foundation that you and I know. It has to be piling. So that's the engineering solution to it. And
that's cost.
Even there, you have some building going down already.
Is this piling different from that thing, what they used to call German floor?
No, that is.
This kind of foundation is like you're doing a decking, right?
Yeah. You drive piles to this study. You could be on it for 3 months, depending, or even 2 months. When you see a machine that is staying there, and it looks as if they are drilling, that's piling.
Okay.
So you can't do even Alausa Secretariat, the 4 floors in area around the water without using piling. Let alone 10 floors, 20 floor buildings.
Okay, let's talk about. Time is almost, but I'd like you to really talk about it. Old buildings now, because again, some of these buildings that are collapsing are old buildings. So I'd like you to point out some of the things that people can look out for before the building comes down. Some of the just say symptoms now.
Joy, people see that this building will collapse and they're still moving.
Well, even in Yoruba, we say Ile Man Soko. There's some sound that you will hear. You see cracks, and if the crack, you will see cracks from the top to the base. And you see cracks. So if you see those ones, some piles, some sides peeling off, you will see the iron rod. The first thing you should do is to do what we call structural integrity test. They just put the machine around, and the machine will tell you that some columns are weak, some beams are weak. And we've seen people trying to renovate such old building to the detriment. I mean, if it's weak, it's weak. Building is also like human being, young or middle age, old age. If it's old, and human being will die, building can be restored, can be strengthened. And you'll be wondering, is it the same building? Say, yeah. You may not pull down entirely.
Okay.
But if the entire component is weak, if you need to pull down, then you pull down and rebuild entirely.
Okay, I want us to close on this note. You know, when I started, I said, you know, despite government efforts, government interventions, you know, we're still having this building collapse, you know, reoccurring. So how effective have Lagos State government's recent interventions been?
Oh, it's trying. They've tried more. In fact, there is a recent one that brings in professional people who are not government to also assist government is monitoring.
Okay.
Don't be surprised, the building that collapsed, maybe those experts will have spotted the building.
And they will have given the people...
And they will have said, evacuate or leave the site.
Yes.
They won't leave. They say, when we leave, where should we go? So there should be more monitoring and then more intense effort at detecting those buildings that are weak. Maybe, if I need to evacuate you to leave the site, the government can have a temporary place for 3 months. We ask you for 6 months. After 6 months, you leave as a relief for people who hire a property, who are not the owners, who are just tenants. I mean, you can imagine if you paid for your rent for 1 year and government serve you to leave, where will you get? So there could be a relief, a location where people can be put temporarily for 6 months. You didn't create the problem. The system, not create, enhance the problem. Enhance the emergence of the problem.
All right, we must make this conversation to a close at this time. Building collapse is not merely a structural failure, but it is a preventable tragedy that often results from negligence and, of course, disregard for professional standards. Thank you so much again, Dr. Moses Ogunleye, MD, MOA Planners Limited, for sharing insight on this conversation. We've discussed building collapse in Lagos. The conversation continues. Stay with us.